Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about how the hedge funds continue to manipulate and to short AMC, a practice they've been doing for months with a seemingly unlimited supply of money. So how are they doing it? Trust me guys, you do not want to miss this video, so stay tuned and let's make some money. But guys, before I dive into the video, I just want to give a massive shout out to the 3,200 of you that have currently dinged that notification bell, because you guys are always the first to watch a new video as soon as it's released. So guys, be sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell if you haven't already so that you don't miss another video just like this one. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, Fintel says IWM Russell 2000 ETF, of which AMC is the largest single asset within, has 114 million shares short interest. Therefore, the hedge funds are using IWM to short AMC indirectly. We knew that already, but just how bad has it been getting? IWM has 296 million shares total, which means a short interest of 38.7%. Good lord. Anyone else check my math or my information? Just a quick note, IWM owns a lot of shares in AMC, around 8.84 million shares respectively. But it's not the only ETF that holds shares in AMC, and therefore not the only ETF that the hedge funds are shorting. There's also the Invesco ETF that has 5.62 million shares. There's also the IWN ETF that has 4.29 million shares. There's the Vanguard ETF that holds a few million shares as well. There's also the SoFi Social 50 ETF that has 5.5% of its asset allocation in AMC and more. So based on what I'm about to explain to you, just extrapolate that for all of the other ETFs that are out there at the moment and not just the IWM ETF. Now from using Fintel, we can have a look at the IWM institutional ownership and note that there's 345 million shares currently in issue. If we move over to Short Squeeze, we can see there's 114 million shares of short interest in that same ETF. So around 38% of the ETF is currently being shorted. However, something else I think is really important to consider is not just the short interest, but also the put options against those ETFs as well. Using Whale Wisdom, we can see that CTC has the equivalent to a $37 billion put position in AMC. Now I think it's important to note that CTC holds less put options than some of the other funds such as Susquehanna, but seemingly has a much higher market value of that put position. $37 billion value versus nearly $8 billion of value. So how does that come about? Well, I'm not 100% sure if it's just a glitch in Whale Wisdom or if it's to do with the source date and the date reported. We can see that the Susquehanna put position of 35 million put options was reported in March of 2021, when the IWM share price was much lower than it is or was on the 30th of June 2021. Therefore, when Susquehanna make their filing for June, we could see this market value increase substantially, even if their principal amount of put options doesn't change. Or it could also be because Susquehanna has been holding their put position for a much longer period of time. They first owned their put position in Q2 of 2010. Now the IWM share price back then would have been very, very small. Therefore they might actually have 35 million put options and have just been continually rolling them or hold some very far out put options. And that's why the market value of those options is fairly low in comparison to CTC's. But something I do think is important is to look at the sheer value of these put positions. CTC has a $37 billion put position. Susquehanna, a $7.9, nearly $8 billion put position. Barclays, $6.8, nearly $7 billion worth of puts. We then also have Parallax, JP Morgan, Millennium Management, and our favourite, Citadel Advisors, who hold nearly a $4 billion put position in the IWM ETF. I think Charlie's Trades actually totaled all of these put options up and determined that there was over 500 million individual put options against the IWM ETF. Or the XTSLA ETF, one of the two. Go and check out Charlie's vid if you wanted for more information. This is how the hedgies continue to short AMC. Not only do the AMC shares inside the ETFs become lendable and therefore shortable, but also the hedgies are shorting these ETFs directly, thereby indirectly shorting AMC. In one of my previous videos, I went through and actually explained how shorting an ETF can directly impact on the AMC share price. Basically, if you short an ETF and then buy the underlying holdings of that ETF, every single holding other than AMC, every single holding will go up, but obviously AMC will decrease comparatively. On top of this, the ETF will also periodically rebalance its holdings, thereby selling off some of those AMC shares into the open market, thereby dropping the price further. However, I do have some very good news about AMC. Revenues are expected to be $341 million for the second quarter of 2021, up 1,705% from the same quarter last year. They're going to be announcing it on the webcast on the 9th of August, which is in partnership with Say Technologies, and therefore AMC is directly in partnership with Say Technologies. So while you can, be sure to register on Say Technologies and verify your shares on there and upvote the post so that there is a true share count of AMC shareholders. Speaking of which, a lot of you have said that you can't link your Webull account to Say Technologies in order to verify your shares in Webull. So here's how to get around that. How to link Webull to Mint, Personal Capital, Clarity Money and other finance trackers. And effectively Say Technologies is just another example of a finance tracker. History. Webull, similar to Robinhood in the past, uses Apex Clearing as their clearing house. However, Webull does not have an API yet that allows finance trackers to peel back the curtain into how much money is in Webull. Luckily, Apex Clearinghouse does. How-to steps. Open a Webull account and get your Webull account number ready. That should be an 8 to 10 alphanumeric character set found under your account. Example, brokerage account 9EK01234. Go to the Apex Clearing website and create an account. Create user ID on the bottom left hand corner with Apex Clearinghouse. It will ask you to enter your 8 to 10 digit alphanumerical character set found under your account in Webull. It will also ask for your SSN associated with your Webull account, and it will ask you to create a security question. It will also ask you for your email. Best to use the same one associated with your Webull account to avoid confusing the two platforms. And it will then ask you to create a user ID and password to log in separately to the Apex Clearing website. Once that's done, you can then head off to Mint, Personal Capital, Clarity Money or Say Technologies and connect Apex Clearinghouse to it. So you're not actually connecting Webull directly to Say Technologies, you're connecting Webull to Apex Clearing and then Apex Clearing into Say Technologies. So if you do have an account with Webull, then be sure to register on Say Technologies while you still can over the next week to ensure your shares are counted and verified. However, if you're from the UK or from Canada or from Europe, unfortunately I don't think any of us can connect into Say Technologies, but hopefully the US apes will have our backs. Guys, be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think about the hedge funds continuing to short AMC indirectly through the IWM ETF and the whopping 38.7% short interest. And if you haven't already, I'd really consider checking out the Patreon and the private Discord and becoming part of the team to get urgent updates and news and due diligence on AMC like this before I even make a video, linked in the description below. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers!